it's just being pedantic to say you can't tone. Yes, technically you can't tone. If you want to be scientific about it, you cannot tone. I just wanted to get a big spoon and stir it on social media and YouTube. You can tone your body, but you can't tone a muscle. Let me explain. I'm making this video because summer's around the corner, lockdown's being lifted, gyms are going back, and there's lots of people out there who want to tone up, okay? Now, you're watching this video for two reasons. You either fall into that category because you want to tone up, or you're another coach and personal trainer and you're thinking, what the hell is this idiot talking about? And I'm going to explain both, okay? And I'm going to try and keep it as minimal and as least complicated as I can. If you're the average person watching this who doesn't particularly understand the science behind fat loss and muscle gain and everything else, doesn't matter. What I'm telling you is you can achieve a toned look. Now, when you say you want to tone, I'm assuming what you mean is basically definition. You might be happy with your weight and you just want to achieve a bit of definition. Now, that can be done. Personal trainers and coaches watching this will say you can't tone a muscle, you can't tone a muscle, and that is why I'm making this video, because my social media, as I follow a lot of other coaches, some very famous as well, others local, they all bang on about how you cannot tone a muscle, how toning's impossible. And if you go to a coach and say, I want to tone up, they'll roll their eyes. And I do it as well. And the reason they hate it is because muscle is a tissue and it's made up of the way it's made up, and that doesn't change. So a muscle has a function, and its function is basically mechanical. So it's to move your parts. There's other muscles that do other jobs like internal organs and stuff. We're not going to get into that, too complicated. Basically, you're on about visuals. So what you can see, they have functions. Like biceps job is to contract so I can do this, right? That's what we're talking about on a basic level. So you can make those muscle fibers stronger and you can make them bigger. Fat is a different tissue altogether. It's made up of different stuff, and fat and muscle are completely separate. Now, you need a small amount of fat for obvious reasons, hormonal reasons. The fatty acids in your body absorb various vitamins and minerals, etc., etc., blah, blah, blah. Boring, boring, boring. That's not what we're here for. Too much fat hides the muscle. You'll hear the phrase abs are made in the kitchen. It's because everybody has them, but there's a layer of fat over the top. So, you see where I'm getting at? If you can shift the excess fat and weight train to gain the muscle, you have more muscle mass there, so that when you burn the fat, you can start to see lines, creating definition, hence you are now toned. So you can tone a muscle, in that sense. You can achieve a toned look. Now, the reason coaches hate it is because from a biology point of view, you can't take a muscle and fine tune it and make it toned. You can make it stronger, you can make it bigger, you can effectively make it more efficient at the task that it does. Somebody might be able to bicep curl a 10 kilo weight. Another person might be able to bicep curl a 20 kilo weight. Their muscles are bigger, stronger, more effective. If they have less fat, you're going to see loads more definition from that person than somebody else who's a bit weaker, who's carrying excess fat. So no one really cares or gives a crap about this. You don't take a car to a mechanic's to fix a problem and sit there and get the mechanic to explain to you how the engine works. You don't give a crap how the engine works. You just want to get in that car with it working properly and get from A to B. Just like you want to achieve that defined, toned body so that you can go and see your friends with not a lot on and feel confident, right? Which is effectively is what we're talking about. So for us as coaches to sit here and say, you can't tone a muscle, you can't tone a muscle. Because all it is burning fat and building muscle mass to give you definition, which is, in layman's terms, is toning. That's what you mean by toning. So it's just being pedantic to say you can't tone. Yes, technically you can't tone. If you want to be scientific about it, you cannot tone. But that's not what people care about. Because how do you achieve what I've just said? Calories in versus calories out. Boring, 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 blah, 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 to achieve your fat loss. But if you do fat loss and you've got no muscle there because you're doing 300 steps a day and sat at a desk all day, you can have minimal muscle. So yes, you'll be smaller. Yes, you'll have less fat, but you might not have the desired toned look because muscles don't grow by themselves and get stronger by themselves. You have to pick up a dumbbell, a barbell, do some push-ups, do some CrossFit, do some bodybuilding, anything, as long as it's some form of resistance training to give you the look you're after, which in turn isn't just about aesthetics. It gives you loads of other benefits as well. Boring, boring, boring. That's not what we're talking about. So the takeaway from this video, I've got an Amazon delivery, hang on. So the takeaway from this video is don't try to tone a particular body part. Focus on fat loss, not weight loss, fat loss, and do some resistance training, because muscle is heavier than fat pound for pound. So you may not actually lose weight. If you want to tone, you're going to have to build a hell of a lot of muscle. You may even end up heavier depending on how lean you are at the moment. I just want you to understand that you can achieve anything you put your mind to or anything you want to do. I just feel that in the fitness industry, we as coaches get too carried away with the science behind it. And a lot of these posts, it's only other coaches that actually understand it. And most people just don't care. We just don't care. Like, you want to tone up? Fine, tone up. Just burn some fat, build some muscle, and you'll be toned. But most of all, I just wanted to get a big spoon and stir it on social media and YouTube, because if I get somebody disagreeing with me,